Hey everybody, Pastor Matt here. Happy Tuesday, October the 20th to you. I'm so glad you're able to join us. God has been really good. We had not only a wonderful offering, we were able to meet the goal for our Colorado missions offering in honor of Nicey Murphy. We had a $5,000 goal, and the goal that was met, I believe it was around $6,700. And I believe that when we're aware of where our money is going, that the money that we're giving, God's money, but the money that we give, if we're aware of where it's going, I think God is going to help us move in just a great direction and being able to give more generously to these things. So when we see what's going on with Ponderosa, a lot of the other ministries that are going on in Colorado, but specifically disaster relief, we talked about that on Sunday, and we were asking for God to send rain, but we're grateful that disaster relief from our state can go to those places that are in desperate need. And not only are we able to help the physical issues that are going on, but our giving will help the spiritual issues as well. Because there's people on site, and all of them are strong followers of Jesus, and they tell others about Jesus as well. And so that's something that, listen, maybe that's something that you would love to be involved in being involved in disaster relief. If there may be time that you have during the week to be able to do that, where you can go. If you're interested, let me know, and I can connect you with someone that would be able to give you the good information that you need. A couple of things that we talked about at our business meeting, which I think is going to be important for you to know. Number one, we approved a job description for our hope for associate pastor. There is just some coverage that is needed here in our church. We had been spending some time trying to look for a part-time youth pastor, and that had proven difficult, and all the resumes had completely dried up. And so now we just decided, not I say we, me, personnel, and other groups, we just decided we're just gonna just put it out there and do something as far as covering discipleship and family life, where this person would run herd directly on youth, but then oversee the children's area, K through sixth grade, and then also help me in working with discipleship. Help me, but help others who are the teachers in our small groups, at Sunday School Connect groups, our small groups, to be able to help them be able to move forward as well. Now what we've got to do is look at the budget. Right now, with what we have, we are meeting and maybe just a little below, but right now we are meeting budget well, and we are grateful for that. So anytime we would bring something else on, and especially if it's a full-time in a type of a pastoral ministerial role, we know that that is going to be something that we're going to be doing and moving by faith. So we're going to be talking with the church council tonight. We're going to be going over the budget line by line, piece by piece, and just begin to have a conversation about what's happening, where we're going, and what we need to be doing. Now, here's the thing that I want to let you know about associate pastors, because there was a book that was written a long time ago by John Piper called Brothers, We Are Not Professionals. And sometimes what can happen is we believe that ministry happens and can exclusively happen when we hire a person to do that ministry. So, for instance, we have an associate pastor that may be coming on, discipleship and family life. Well, that's your job. That's kind of what we're paying you to do. So, you go do it. And sometimes we think we hire one person, whether it's a lead pastor or otherwise, and it's that one person's responsibility to get everybody in. And if that's not happening, then, well, there must be something going on and something going wrong. The thing is that, yes, we want to bring in someone that cares about Christ, that's high character, but he's also coming into a culture. And so what we're praying for as we hear the word is that the culture of the church would be such that we are moving and we are already discipling. We are already connecting. We are already engaging. We are already sharing the gospel with people, not simply expecting someone to come along and to do that. Now, when I first got here, there was a bump, and with brand new pastors, there was a bump in attendance because everybody was coming all at once to check the guy out. Okay, well, over time, if something doesn't go somebody's way, or something is being done or said that feels like something from before, well, then the seed can get planted And suddenly people may begin to think, well, that may not be the church for me. This may not be the church for me. This may not be the church for me. But all we're doing is working to try to make sure everything is geared around the scriptures, everything is geared around Christ, and that we are doing things not simply for the form of doing things, but what function is it performing? Because there's all sorts of things that we could be doing that we've been doing over the years. But if it's not fulfilling the Great Commission function, well, then we come along and we have to ask, what are we doing? Whether it's music or small groups or preaching or anything along that line, we have to ask ourselves, are we connecting with people for the gospel? Are we strengthening people that are already in the church for the gospel? Because if that's not the case, then what can happen is we can believe the church is simply for us. And if something doesn't go well for us, then we disengage, either physically or we may even disengage emotionally and spiritually. We've got to be very careful for that. And so that's where, even when we're in this COVID season, there is a fatigue and there is a desire to get back to where it was before. We're not there yet. We're just not there yet, because we've got to think about the whole group, not just my own personal preferences. So when we're talking about an associate pastor, we want to not only bring somebody in to be able to help with this, but we're not going to just say, okay, that's great, and then run back to our corners and not engage, right? We've got a lot of ministries that are going on. We've got a lot of ministries that are voted in that we're going to do, and it sounds great. But when we vote something in and we do something, to say, yeah, well, this is what we want to do, we don't step back saying, well, somebody else will handle it. No, when we vote on it, then that means we are engaged as well, not simply just people as well. So when we bring in an associate pastor, we need to help be engaged with that. When we're doing small groups, we need to be engaged with that. If we want to, are dealing with our worship services, we need to be engaged with our worship services. Do you see? So I hope you're able to sort through all of that. And as we begin to move forward in these things, let's just make sure that we're rolling up our sleeves and being a part of what's going on, rather than thinking we're going to bring somebody in and that'll take care of the issues because we've got somebody on hand to be able to deal with the whole thing. No, we have to all be in this together with this. All right. God bless you. And that's about that. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.